What's up, everybody? Welcome to the special edition of Pickle's Penny Pinchin' Picks plus Let's Talk. The reason why I'm doing a little bit different edition this week is because today my birthday, so I'm gonna do something that I'm going to enjoy that you all probably will not. I'm going to take a giant shit on AAA titles. I want you to keep in mind that not all of these I hate outright. Some of them have redeeming qualities. There have been good releases, and they've just kind of gone downhill recently to the point to where it's kind of infected the series as a whole. Be warned, I don't hold any punches, even so much as this very first one will probably piss off a lot of people. But it is number 10 on my list. I will do the bottom 5 today and the top 5 tomorrow. Without further ado, number 10, Zelda. Yeah, I'm shitting on Zelda. I know that people are probably gonna hate me for this, and if you think I'm wrong, bring it. I'm all for it. The very first The Legend of Zelda set an almost unprecedented standard when it came to video games. Level design, storytelling, world creation, character creation, different types of enemies, special types of weapons, dungeon crawling. Like, there was all these things that were present in the first one. Then we went to The Adventures of Link, and in that one they kind of wanted to change it up to where the first one kind of felt maybe as if you roamed around too much, so they didn't want to just have it be stale and stagnant. So let's make it a little bit more action oriented. We'll make it side scrolling, a little bit more things throwing at you. I'm sure at that point Castlevania and stuff like that had some kind of opinion of how popular they were. It's like, well, these side scrollers are doing great, and it seems to be a little bit easier to program, or whatever the reason was, but it wasn't as great as the first one. And then they went to Super Nintendo and came out with the absolute best Zelda game that has ever been made, and in my personal opinion will ever be made. They will never be able to top this one. The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past was probably about the best you could ever get when it comes to a Zelda title. For those of you that don't know, and go ahead and challenge me on this, I dare you. It's also the very first time that you ever encountered the Master Sword. How much more do you have a ground setting title than with A Link to the Past? And then we get to the 64 version. Now, don't get me wrong, Ocarina of Time was a great game. It wasn't as good as A Link to the Past in my book, because I've played through A Link to the Past 3 different times. I played through Ocarina of Time once, and I think it may have just been because of how widely expansive the game was, and I just wasn't really into kind of doing the whole roam around things. At that point, I think I was 2 or 3 stars away from getting all stars in Mario 64. I was like, I'm done doing all this roaming shit. I would say that if A Link to the Past is here, Ocarina of Time is like right here, and then it just bottoms out after that for me. I'm not going to include any portable titles. This is strictly console or PC ports and stuff like that. It's strictly out of the portable market, so none of those count. You know, the Four Swords, or even the original Game Boy green cartridge Adventure, which was awesome. I'm not counting any of those, but Majora's Mask is where it started to go downhill for me. And that's what I call Groundhog Day Zelda Edition, because you would go through this day and then you had to do stuff, and then you go back and you do that day again. I think by the time I had the third rewind, if you will, I was like, this is stupid, and I turned it off. I got done with it. I understand that there's this huge thing with threes in especially a Zelda title. I couldn't do it. I turned it off and I never played it again. And then we got to Wind Waker. Wind Waker could have been great, but I spent too much time in the damn boat. You know, cell shaded graphics. Woo! They're so great. Link looks like an even bigger kid than he has ever. What the hell just happened? And then, yeah, you spend 90% of your time in a boat, which you learn after a while, spoilers, is the King of Hyrule. Now, pay attention to what I just said. You spend 90% of your time inside the King of Hyrule. No. And then we have the penultimate of shit, and that is the Twilight Princess. Fuck that game. I hated everything about that game. I hated being a dog. I hated sometimes when you point your Wii remote at the TV, it doesn't pay attention. No, the whole thing was just awful. Why am I a dog? Oh, you're not going to tell me early enough on? Then I don't care. Because there was just too much, oh, you just got some cool shit? Now you're a dog. And then as your dog, look at all this cool shit you get that you get to play with for about 10 minutes while we teach you how to do other things. And now you're a dog. No. Like, how do you shit on such a fantastic series with something like Twilight Princess? The game was terrible. I can't speak for Breath of the Wild yet because I haven't played it. I've heard good things, but it leads me to another complaint that other than the original Nintendo and the Nintendo 64, Nintendo seems to come out with a new system just so you'll buy a new Zelda game. Nintendo, go fuck yourself. Done with that shit. I'm not investing in any more of that. I'll find some way to get an emulator or something at some point, but I am not going to deal with your bullshit anymore. Number 9, Metroid. Yep, this one too. First Metroid, like Zelda, was absolutely awesome. Super Metroid, I can't even believe that they made the original one so much better. Like, Super Metroid was so great, so many other titles ended up trying to recapture that magic. Like Blackthorn, which was a Blizzard title, by the way, and an excellent one at that, but still not as good as Metroid. Shadow Complex was another one. Managed to still kind of keep a lot of what Super Metroid did, but it was so much of a clone. They're like, let's add a better story so we're just not destroying aliens in space. Yay, stuff on human lands. Like, meh, no. And then Metroid Prime. No. Two things that bugged the shit out of me, that ruined that entire game for me, and I gave no shits to continue playing any more Metroids until they fixed everything. Number 1, when you give me a game and you start me off and I have every power that I'm going to have in the game, and then, oops, some freak bullshit came along, no, you don't have it anymore. It's almost like we know our game sucks, but we got some really cool shit for you to do. We're going to let you kind of play around with that. Then you're going to want to play our game and go around and collect all that shit again, so you'll be just as powerful into the game as you were in the first part of the game. Isn't that great? No, it's not. It sucks ass. Don't give me something that I'm going to miss. Let me go and find it and then go, this is awesome. Now I can go and do all these other kinds of things that I couldn't do before. And the second biggest thing was, it was a first-person shooter that you couldn't strafe unless you were locked on. So if I'm wandering through a hallway and I walk and I have to stop, turn, and then walk, and it's a first-person shooter and not the original Resident Evil 2 and 3, no. Like, that was the whole point of having a first-person shooters. I had better control over things. I could go around a corner. The way I've always kind of pictured it is that when I strafe around the corner, it's kind of like I'm peeking out. But if you're not gonna let me do that and I just have to walk and then turn, no, that's clunky, bad controls. In my opinion, the game suffered for it. I tried. I went back a couple times. I couldn't do it. I hated the fact that I have to walk as if I'm on a rail. I don't have freedom of movement. I walk in a straight line. I stop. I turn. I walk in a straight line. No, abso-fucking-lutely not. You piss me off, and I'm tired of it. Metroid gets number 9. All right, number 8, Mario. This fat bastard is everywhere. Tennis courts, soccer/football fields, go-kart tracks, cast parties, the sun, paper, and even the damn galaxy. Go away. You are boring. And there's only so many times I can jump on a sentient mushroom's head before I'm wondering if there's psilocybin mushrooms that you're jumping on and the spores are going up there and just causing you to just go crazy, and all you're doing is just imagining it all, and eventually we're going to find out Mario's just sitting in a hospital with his in a straitjacket just rocking back and forth in the corner because he's like, the lizard stole my girlfriend. The lizard stole my girlfriend. And maybe some lizard actually took off with like a rubber band that he fell in love with or something. I don't know. Again, it's kind of like the whole Link complaint is you eventually just keep regurgitating it. And the only reason why I'm going to play this pudgy bastard again is because he's in a new system. Or you got a new system because there's another game that you want. Well, you might as well get Mario for it eventually because, I mean, why wouldn't you get Mario? It gets to the point where it's just, do something different. You know, when you had the whole, oh, look, I'm walking on a ball. Okay, but it's still overall the same premise. Mushrooms and pipes. I understand he's a plumber. But actually have him go into a pipe, and rather than not just be like, oh look, it's an ocean, it's a water world. No, like put him in with the Ninja Turtles. I want to see him do some shit like that. Then you're really in there. You're really getting into the pipes and the stuff that you're trying to fix as a plumber. And for God's sakes, will you give the man a plunger? Or like one of them little snake drill things or something? Give him some actual, like, plumber stuff. Give him a monkey wrench. Give him a screwdriver. I don't give a shit. Give him some rubber gloves, too. You know, just color him yellow and he's got dishwasher gloves or some shit. I'll be okay with that. Number 7, and on purpose I have this one at number 7, is Resident Evil. The first one, once again, had some kind of groundbreaking thing that they did. The controls were clunky as shit, and I hated trying to run from something and moving like I'm playing Metroid Prime. But it was still a fun game. 2 made it better. 3, it got a little bit better, but I always kind of noticed, and you probably will now too, the first 3 Resident Evils were built around Raccoon City and all that kind of stuff, and very kind of similar theatrical camera angles, okay? And then you got into 4, 5, and 6 were more of the over the right shoulder or left shoulder, depending on how the controls were. And it was more action-oriented, and let's kind of be terrifying a little bit. And I got out of survival horror and kind of went into more of an action-oriented title. And the controls were awful in the first 3. I like to kind of consider 1 as a masterful mess. And 2 didn't really make the controls better. 3 didn't make the controls better. Although having Nemesis run around and stars was amazing. Like every time they have it, like even just now saying it gives me chills. But that was amazing. Those were fun. Those were times where you're like, oh shit, get out of the screen, get out of the screen. Because you run out of screen and come back, he's gone. But then they had things in the game to where it were challenges. You can go in there and kill the little fucker, and you'd get weapons or upgrades or any of that other kind of stuff. It was great. The first 3 were really solid as far as everything was concerned. 4 switched things up, and you finally had better controls. But it started to kind of take it in more of an action sense. And then 5 was decent. But let's be honest, when you go into the volcano, the entirety of the volcano could have just been done without. Because it was fucking dumb and corny as shit. It was stupid. And 6, the only redeeming thing about 6 is I enjoyed how you had pairs of people. And you're playing through in the same city. And then when you play through the first time, you have another log. Oh, here's some people. Oh, here where you guys come from. I'm from over here. And then when you play his name, you come like, oh, look, here we are. Here. You know, and you have these interactions with the other pairs of people that you run into. And I thought it was cool, but the story was weak. Like, what the hell is this? This is dumb. And like, I started to lose all hope. And then playing the demo for Resident Evil 7, I was like, okay, now you guys are kind of getting back to your let's scare the shit out of you form. You guys were the pioneers of survival horror and made it what it was. And then you just kind of went in some offshoot tangent. But what I'm wondering is how 8 and 9 are going to be. And are you going to have 8 be kind of okay and then 9 be shitty and then try and come back with 10 in a completely different style? Because let's be honest, this is the beginning of the next trilogy of Resident Evil. Because they've been in 3s every time now. And every one of them have been sort of identical. Because you had the horrible controls and the theatrical angles from the first 3. Then in the second 3, you had more of the action-oriented ones, over-the-shoulder combat and whatnot. And now we're in first person for the beginning of the next trilogy. So I'm really kind of curious how 8 and 9 are going to turn out. But even then, it's not that great as far as the series as a whole. Because 5 and 6 left such a huge stain on everything. But it was nice to have co-op. That's where they tried to go, well, you can play with other people now. Which was cool, but it was sort of a little too late. It was a lot of too little too late, and it left a bad taste on people's mouth until I think 7 came out, and I'm going through 7 now, as some of you know, and I'm enjoying the hell out of it, and it's really been kind of refreshing for them to come back to it. So that's why Resident Evil isn't at the bottom of the list, but it's up a little higher, and I want it to be exactly at 7 because that's what I'm playing now. So, yeah, whatever. Okay, and now for the final one on this video, number 6, Call of Duty. I remember playing the I don't think I played the very first one. I know I played the second one, and getting up Bunker Hill was so stressful and difficult. I got pissed off, but holy shit did I love it. I don't remember if I played the third, but I know for a fact I played the fourth. And Modern Warfare 1, 2, and 3 for me is the absolute best storytelling that Call of Duty has done, besides like the World War II stuff, where we know it was that stuff that actually happened and battles that actually took place. Modern Warfare 1, 2, and 3 were such amazing stories. I loved every single one of them. And for my opinion, Infinity Ward, when they did Modern Warfare 2, that was their pinnacle. They could not get any higher than that again. The multiplayer was good. The single player was fantastic. And it really helped build the legacy of Modern Warfare 1, 2, and 3, because even the culmination of 3 was, again, incredible. 3 was kind of lacking in the multiplayer a little bit. And then we go to the Treyarch side of it. Their single player story never made any fucking sense to me. I still don't know what the hell they were talking about. I have no idea. It was kind of cool being able to play in Zork in the first one, I think, where you're in the little chair. It might be the second one, no, it's the first one. So you can kind of eventually get out, you go to the computer and you type in, I think it was Eaten by a Gru is what you type in, and you could play Zork, but you had to type with the controller and moving the cursor to the keys on the keyboard that's on the screen. That was a pain in the ass. And I still didn't beat it on that one either. I got tired of doing the controls for it. But Black Ops 2, again, single player sucked. And I don't care what anybody says, the zombies portion of those games were fucking stupid. I hated all of them. I didn't like it. I thought it was dumb. Didn't make sense. It's like, what the hell? This is stupid. And I played through it a little bit to try and get some achievements for it when I was still playing it on 360, but eventually just kind of said, and done, and I'm out. I left. I was like, nope. Checked out. I'm not doing it again. And, but for my opinion, Black Ops 2 had the absolute best multiplayer. It's the only time I cared about prestiging. I think I prestiged 5 times. So I was like prestige level 6 or something. I think I had the shark with the trident or something like that. Whatever one that is. I don't know. I haven't played it in forever. But I enjoyed that one. That one was great. And then I played Ghosts, hoping that Infinity Ward would give me something along the lines of what they did with Modern Warfare 1, 2, and 3. And they didn't. Ghost sucked. Multiplayer was awful. The single player, out of the normal 8 to 10s that I would give Modern Warfare 1, 2, and 3 for their collaboration on everything, Ghost got like a 3 at best. And I just thought it was dumb. It was really just kind of bleh. And the way that they just try and churn these out every year, I get tired of it. It's almost like the only reason why we keep playing it is because we're an idiot and we know another idiot that says that they're going to get it, because they know an idiot that says they're going to get it, and they know an idiot that is like, I'm going to try and get on a professional Call of Duty team and enter the tournament, so I'm going to get it. So it's a trickle-down effect. Those idiots are going, all right, well, we're going to go ahead and enter into these tournaments. When other people want to try to do it so they get the titles, Well, and then friends want to play with them to see if they can compete, and it just trickles down to everybody else who eventually just play with it with a single toe because they don't fucking care anymore because the games are terrible. But they keep turning around and go, look how great this is. I'm in space. For something that started in World War II, why the fuck am I in space? With a machine gun? No. No, absolutely not. Nope. No. No. Nope. Nope, nope. No and no. So, that's the first half of this list. Did I piss you off? Did you even make it this far? You know, what so far has been covered that you're like, holy shit, I can't believe you're telling me these are terrible. Let me know. Chuck that in the comments. I would say hit the like button, but I know I probably squished a couple people's toes at this point, but that's kind of my thoughts on all of this. And yeah, thanks guys for stopping by. Part 2 is coming out tomorrow, so be ready for that one. Yeah, I'll see you guys then. Take care. Thanks for stopping by.